Welcome to the Campus Outreach San Diego 2020 Virtual Fundraiser. My name is Kevin Johnson. We're looking forward to showcasing all that God is doing here on the college campus in San Diego. Our theme tonight is Turning Points. 2020 has been a watershed year for many reasons, from the COVID-19 virus reshaping our everyday lives to needed conversations surrounding race and injustice and a presidential election, to name a few. We are at a turning point. Yet, with so much change, we continue to look to Christ's unchanging hand. You will hear about two kinds of turning points. First, a turning point upwards towards God and the gospel of grace. Second, you will hear about turning points outward towards the world. CO San Diego was planted out of a heart to see college students here in San Diego experience turning points in their relationship with God.
And so today we have Kayla here with us. Kayla, thanks so much for joining us. So Kayla, how would you say that this dark and tragic place that you found yourself in eventually transformed into a turning point in your life?
Yeah, so going back to that, my sophomore year, so my freshman year was like the darkest time for sure, but that darkness definitely continued into my second year. And when I started that fall, I told myself and all my friends, I was like, okay, new year, new me, it's gonna be different this year. So I decided one way I wanted to make it a new year was by looking for new friends. So then I started going to church at CO because I was like, well, these people seem like they have it together. They seem like they know the answers to like having it all, quote unquote, like good friends, good grades, good life. I was like, okay, for sure. But then I started going. I didn't like it. I felt like I didn't fit in. I felt like everyone was this type of way and I was just over here. But then God kept pulling me back. And I realized, like looking back, it was because at that time, I was at the center. So I would judge everything based on how it affected me, how I fit in, what I could get from the experience. But then basically my first turning point was winter retreat. And I didn't even want to go, but basically I ended up going anyways, and I had a series of conversations that basically taught me how little I actually knew about Jesus, and it kind of started establishing the link between my head knowledge and my heart transformation. And my second big turning point was a few weeks later. I was driving the car with my friend, and that was like the first time that I had ever called myself a Christian and really embraced it as the root of my identity versus drawing from other places or other sources. And so I guess like when I look back, because now it's been a year and a half and it's not like the walk's gotten any easier, if anything it's gotten harder, and I get a lot of decision fatigue sometimes, trying to constantly make good decisions that point me towards God. I think of my life kind of going back to the forest analogy. When I didn't know God, I was just wandering around and I fell into a hole. And I didn't even know it was a hole because I'd been wandering around my whole life. But then starting with the first turning point, God gave me the map of His gospel and the Holy Spirit. And with that map, He led me to the ladder to climb out, which is Jesus, the death and sacrifice of His Son. And I got back into the light, and inevitably sometimes I'll start wandering around again, get lost, confused, and I fall back into that hole. But now God pulls me up faster and faster, and I think that's the greatest theme of my life, is getting saved over and over again.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? I'm Landon. Like Sam said, been on staff here at Clemson for the past 6 years. Went to Western Carolina University, graduated from there May of 2014.
You came back out here last fall with a group of students. Tell us a little bit about why'd you come to San Diego, outside of the weather and the beach and everything, but why did you bring a group of students back out here?
Yeah, so I would say that I'm sold on that the college campus really is the most strategic place to do ministry, and I would say it really is a diverse place. And so I really wanted to come out there and be a blessing to the team and the students out there, but not only to be a blessing to them, I really wanted to be blessed by the staff and the students. And I would say that I wanted my guys that I led here at Clemson, I wanted them to learn how to do ministry in different contexts. I wanted them to see what God is doing on the West Coast and even see the partnership that we do have with the campus outreach team out there. And I would say that it really did make a massive impact on their lives.
Yeah, tell us, one of the reasons I like to host trips like that is because I know that it's going to have a big impact, not only here in San Diego, and you guys did get to come with us and share the gospel and make an impact in San Diego, but also in their lives. So what was the impact on the young men that did get to come out?
Yeah, I would say that the guys that I brought out, I would say that for them, they weren't really thinking about doing vocational ministry after college, or even doing a year or two internship with Campus Outreach or another organization, and even living on mission. I would say that for them, exposing them to somewhere different than the Bible Belt, being here, a lot of them had never been out of the Southeast, had never really been out of North or South Carolina. And so for them, doing ministry out there, I really do believe, even talking with them after, it has helped them become super bold in sharing their faith, and even learning what it looks like to live their life on mission day in and day out, not just while they're in college involved with Campus Outreach, but what does it look like Jesus and share Jesus for the rest of their lives. And so Campus Outreach, that providing trips like that are unbelievably impactful for students and even staff, getting to see and be a small part of what God's doing on a trip like that. So yeah, I would say that a lot of them, even to this day, they'd say that was one of the most impactful trips they've ever been on.
So excited tonight to be able to introduce to you Jessica Tilton and Cara Comstock. And so Jess, I want to start with you, and I want to ask two questions to both of you. The first is going to be turning point inward, or upward, I guess, to God, what God's done to you personally, and then turning point outward into the world. And so Jess, why don't you start? Talk about that turning point for you in college, where God really got a hold of your heart.
Yeah, so I grew up in the church, and all throughout my youth, I had a fundamental understanding of what it meant to be a Christian, and I know who Jesus is and who God is, and that there's a greater power over my life. And so I think my general understanding was, okay, if I do good things and do things well, then I get to go to heaven. But getting into college and when I became a part of CO, my understanding of the gospel really deepened and strengthened in the fact that I learned more about God's grace and mercy. And for me, that realization through Campus Outreach and just the community involved with that really helped me truly understand the weight of the cross and what that means for my life, and totally gave me a complete shift in perspective on what it means to be a Christian, not necessarily living out of fear of like doing things well and right and perfect, but living out of acceptance and my identity as a child of God, and how the cross affects my ability to live freely because of that, and not out of fear.
I love that. Cara, how about for you, that turning point upward to God?
Yeah, I think a big turning point was attending my first summer leadership project with CO right before transferring to a school outside of San Diego. I was just so impacted by the community and the friendship, deep friendship that was established during that point. That I just wanted to stay as involved as I could, despite living in another city. Yeah, and I feel like when people think about Campus Outreach, they have this idea that it's mostly focused on evangelism and pulling in the insider. And that's true. I feel like there is a strong focus in that. But also what really impacted me was just the community, the Christ-centered community, and the love that they truly have for one another.
Yeah, thank you so much again for coming, for spending time with us on your Sunday. Thank you for your investment into Campus Outreach and to the next generation of people that will continue to see turning point after turning point of what God is doing in their lives. If you would like, please feel free to share this video with any of your friends and family. Thanks again. Have a blessed rest of your 2020. God bless.